And welcome back to the next in our series of, what does a success mean anyway? Specifically, we're talking right now about information gathering and how to dole out successes and failures by your character's choices. My name is Steve.
I'm Ian, and we're using the specific example of security procedures in the Yggdrasil space elevator tower.
So today we're moving into difficult territory. Last time we talked about stuff that was honestly fairly simple. This was binary, you know it or you don't territory. Very straightforward, very, let's dole out some basic information to get people ready for it.
And often learning the common information would lead you directly to the uncommon information, but that's about to change, well, sort of. In the case of rare and classified information, one of the things that changes is the assumption about whether the type of trait you're using mattered. With common and uncommon information, we didn't mention anything at all about how you were gathering the information. We just said, you spend traits and you gather it. Now it matters, because in the Yggdrasil tower itself, there are several different ways you might gain the information. You might try to look online or even hack their own system using computer-related traits to try and gather information. You might ask people using social traits or contact-type traits to gain information. And you might have other creative ways of discerning information depending on the type of character or player. You might have academic knowledge traits, for example, that tell you how certain things are generally done in the industry, and so on. And which type of trait you use will very strongly influence what kinds of rare and even more difficult classified information you will be able to access. You will need to know the common and uncommon information to be able to access the more difficult information, but which difficult information you get will change.
And that also leads us to another very interesting thing. When we're talking about common and uncommon information, one of the basic assumptions is that getting that success gives you pretty much the entirety of the information available from that source. You don't have to worry about so-and-so holding back on you, unless if you're asking for something basic. But if you're asking for something complex, a single success for it, is really likely only to get you one of three things. It is likely to either get you confirmation of something that's suspected, such as confirmation that there is not only additional security farther in the tower. We're taking our motion sensors and closed-circuit cameras from before, and we're adding retinal scanners at choke points, or we're adding pressure plate sensors on all the floors. So that's confirmation of something that is suspected to exist. Type 2, it could allow you ways to eliminate future challenges. Knowledge that if you have a certain visitor's pass, it allows you to bypass the retinal scanner with a visitor's pass. Or possibility 3, it could give you something brand new, a piece of brand new information that opens up new challenges, such as the information that this seems like it's a way to bypass it. You might find out that authorized employees have RFID tags sewn into their clothes so that when they set off the pressure plates, because everyone does, they're automatically tagged as in the system as this person is cleared to be there. That sounds like it's just a way to bypass the problem of the pressure plates.
But then you find out when you look deeper into it.
What it tells you is that there is a system-wide network of RFID scanners that could be repurposed for a variety of other things.
And maybe it's actually, if you don't have the RFID tag, you're not going to get anywhere without being flagged.
That's entirely possible, and flagged could mean different things. So there is another level of investigation, because it's entirely possible that flagged only means that you will be approached by security, not that it means you'll automatically be opened fire on by automated turrets.
Depending on what the level of security of the area you're going into is, of course, and what the policy is. And those are other pieces of information you might be looking for.
And this is actually a very important tool, because as long as you make sure that every piece of information you dole out in response to a success is something new and meaningful, then there's frankly no limit to how deep the rabbit hole goes. As long as you get one new piece of information or one new viewpoint of information per success, the only limiter is time. All of these things take time, And if you run out of time, you cannot continue to question. You should always be worried about stuff like deadlines. You should always be worried about resource management.
Another way that you can drain the player's success pools as a GM is to tell them the specific amount of time that gathering this information will take with the method and the trait that they have suggested. But say, if you spend another success from this trait, then you could get it faster.
That's also something that we did not discuss in previous situations.
Another way that you might be using multiple or different traits to gain your rare or classified information is that you might discover with your first success not the information you're looking for, but how to find the information you're looking for. You might discover with your computer success the name of the person who knows the information you're looking for. The information isn't online. Now somebody, possibly a different character, has to go and ask that person and convince them to tell you.
As a note to the DM, this should not ever feel like you are spinning the wheels and simply padding the runtime of a game. If someone has to spend successes to find out the name of the person to approach, they should also get crucial information such as, is this person notoriously difficult to approach, so that when they get there, they're not blindsided by a, I won't talk to you unless you bring me 50 bushels of bananas thing. They should know that, let's say they have the name of a computer programmer who can give them a backdoor. They should at that point be able to look into such, when they get that name, they should get some sort of indication that, oh, this person is perfectly approachable, or, oh, this person is finicky.
Whatever would be appropriate in the context. If they found it in the computer system, they should probably find whatever the basic dossier that Yggdrasil Corporation keeps on that person is. If they found it through a rumor, then they should know what the general rumors about this person are.
More importantly, for a story perspective, if they find out this person is picky about who they talk to, then they should have the option to pursue what kind of picky is he. Mm-hmm. If they choose to blow past that option and go straight to him, then they have to deal with that directly through trial and error, or they can spend that precious time and successes to find out someone who has talked with this guy, find out what kind of picky he is, and try to prepare in advance for that.
Now, the difference between rare and classified information is, in my experience, that you almost never will simply follow a straight path of continue succeeding in exactly the same way to get to a piece of classified information. There are usually going to be multiple different challenges, at least 2 or 3 different types of challenge that you will have to face before you can actually get that piece of truly classified information.
And we'll talk more about this next time when we discuss failure in gathering information. But one thing is for certain, the biggest difference between rare information and classified information is that rare information, failure largely means that you fail to progress in a meaningful manner and merely get clues as to how you might progress. Classified information means that if you fail, or sometimes if you don't succeed hard enough, people will be coming after you.
So, little bit of clarification before we close this episode. What we mean by fail to progress is we mean that you don't get that extra progress that the rare information would have given you. You just get the ability to muddle on through instead of smoothly continue.
And we'll come up with some more specific examples of that next time.
Thanks for falling through the cracks with us.